This video is brought to you by Prologue 3, leading into the Unital Ring and the Inter-Intelligence War. The massive saga that is Sword Art Online Alicization has finally reached its conclusion with the final episode of War of Underworld. Kayaba and Star King Kirito are observing the circumstances. Ocean Turtle is out of reach for any observation due to the hardware layers no longer functioning as intended, but a last-ditch effort by Kayaba allowed a short dive for our heroes to see what has changed in the 200 years. Welcome everyone, it's me Gamerturk, your best source of Sword Art Online information, and this is a mini Alicization Explained special featuring War of Underworld episode 23's ending scene and its significance. For starters, do not worry, the full explained video for the entire episode is arriving later down the line, as well as a quick introduction to Progressive really soon, but I wanted to talk about the ending sequence back in Underworld because I know many of you probably do have questions, and one of those is Eugeo still alive somewhere? But I already answered that one preemptively 2 weeks ago, including this scene over here, so do check it out by clicking the icon on the top right corner for that specific question. Second disclaimer, this is an explained special aiming to explain the importance of the final scene, which requires me to go into spoiler territory and into the next main arc, Sword Art Online Unital Ring. If you don't want spoilers, you should not watch this video. If you want to know more about Unital Ring than what this video will touch on, I got multiple Unital Ring related videos on the channel already, so I recommend you give them a go after this one. Third and final disclaimer, while this is an explained video, as of SAO Volume 24, the narrative of Unital Ring is still very much ambiguous, thus I will not be able to provide you a conclusive and coherent piece of information here. What you'll get in this video will be key puzzle pieces concerning Underworld, but not the big picture, as that big picture still does not yet exist in the source material. I strongly urge you to not believe anyone at the moment who claim they have full answers for you. Looking at Fox and Anime, of course, who has a tendency to keep lying to clickbait his audience and remove any criticism from his channel to create an echo chamber of worship. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth SAO content and news and all that jazz. But let's cast away the sly fox of spreading misinformation and get on with Alicization Explained. This scene right here is one of the very rare scenes we get of the future of Underworld, and no, Moon Cradle does not count. That one takes place a year and a half after War of Underworld. This one is 200 years into the future, after Kirito and Asuna conquered other planets and received the title of Star King and Star Queen. Since Moon Cradle took place ages ago, back then they didn't even have those titles, they were just human empire delegates. Going back to the scene, however, this dive is obviously achieved thanks to the connection Kayaba left behind by connecting Ocean Turtle to the Trans-Pacific cable down on the ocean bed, who then later provided the IP address for the connection to Star King, who forwarded it to the biological Kirito. At this point in time, Underworlders have conquered other planets, however the main visualizer has issues that prevent proper observation of the world from the outside, thus the world is running at a 1:1 speed with no acceleration. So, as the only way to observe the world, Rinko allowed the trio to dive in for a limited time to observe how Underworld was doing. Moving on to their dive, the Abyssal Horror was a beast even the late Star King and Star Queen could not defeat but only repel back during their time, and with Kirito and Asuna's return, as well as with the help of Alice, it was vanquished for good. After sharing a quick wave, Volume 18 Alicization Lasting ends, and further information we get is from the Unital Ring novels. Shtika and Lorane eventually meet the heroes who saved them, and Laura invited them to her home. There, they talked about what happened to Underworld in the 200 years, about Star King and Star Queen's achievements, and how they disappeared 30 years ago, and they had some tea. Before they could talk more extensively about Laura and Shtika being Ronnie and Tease's descendants, they were logged out by Rinko. The second dive happens much later down the line in Volume 24 Unital Ring 3 and comes with actual interesting stuff. In this dive, Kirito actually does get to meet the commander of the Integrity Pilots, previously known as Integrity Knights, Eoline Harlands, who awfully looks like Eugeo. And again, for why he can't be Eugeo, check my video on that, and for who he may end up being, check my video on Volume 24 illustrations. But Eoline does not really believe Kirito is actually the Star King, and as I mentioned in our Meet Star King video, he is not particularly wrong. Kirito received the Star King title after quite a lot of achievements in Underworld, but the Kirito sitting next to him in this shot in his fancy car is the Kirito who doesn't even remember a month past the end of War of Underworld. But nothing much comes out from that convo either, because Rinko logs him out again, aside from baiting a whole lot of people that it may be Eugeo or something. There are better theories out there. As I said, just watch my volume 24 video. All in all, from these scenes we know Underworld is still a massive part of Reki's plans and very relevant to the narrative of Unital King. The only problem is that as of now, Unital Ring is not far enough to start connecting all its narratives together. We have the mysterious game that is Unital Ring itself, we have Kamura, the creator of Ogma, as well as Axel World. Spoilers, skip ahead 10 seconds if you don't want to hear this one. Kamura being the name of Kuroyuki Ime's mother from Axel World, further reinforcing these connections. There's Mutasina and her virtual research society, whose title you may find quite similar to the Acceleration Research Society in Axel World. It is believed that Mutasina is Kamura, and we don't even know how and when Underworld will tie into all of these in the first place, or how all of this will lead into the teased inter-intelligence war for that matter. The ending scene of Sword Art Online Alicization is the first major puzzle piece we got, and plenty more will arrive as you start exploring Unital Ring. However, we still do not have a clear sight on the big picture to really make sense of these individual puzzle pieces or how they will even fit in together. As with volume 24, 3 volumes into the Unital Ring arc, we haven't even reached the halfway point of the story according to Reki Kawahara. So all I can say is, do stay tuned. Maybe we'll get more answers whenever volume 25 arrives, maybe even later whenever Underworld will become a major relevant topic for Unital Ring. For now, these are the puzzle pieces we have. As for the final scene of Kirito opening the door and the poem that goes down, well, the poem itself is pretty clear. The adventure will continue, but the door is not referring to the recently announced progressive anime adaptation, but rather it's opening the door to a brand new journey with Unital Ring of course on the other side, eventually leading into the inter-intelligence war. But of course you can start to experience all of that for yourselves and not wait for the anime. Sword Art Online Volume 21, the first Unital Ring volume, English translation by Yen Press, is coming out in January 2021. Pre-orders are already available and you can find them by using the affiliate links down below in the description. I strongly recommend Book Depository instead of Amazon in regards to pre-orders, as I have personally always experienced massive delays with SAO pre-orders on Amazon, whereas there were times I even received my copies early from Book Depository. But that's it from this specific video. If you enjoyed this mini explained special, please do leave a like. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more in-depth coverage on SAO. With Alicization Anime coming to its end, I do have a lot of other lovely SAO stories for you to experience in the near future, like the evening of Kirito's first day on Aincrad, where he was almost killed by another beta tester, so look forward to the first day. And I am not sure if that's gonna be adapted in the progressive anime, because it's not actually part of progressive. We'll see. I don't want to make the huge 1-hour video for something that's gonna get adapted by the anime, but knowing the anime, they'll probably butcher it anyways, and I am already rambling. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter for the fastest news possible. 50k subscribers special merch featuring your favorite hot-headed character is now available, so do check it out. A huge thanks to all my patrons and channel members as always, and until next time, stay cool.